So the sentence is, currently we perform a full analysis of devices sent for RMA and send customers a comprehensive list of available repairs, free and paid, in our messaging to customers. Is that a lie? We met with ASUS at Computex to try and get the company to commit to firm improvements to its customer support and warranty practices. Initially, it felt like ASUS gave us the wrong people, assigning us the director of marketing, where we wanted someone from customer support. Is there a chance I can talk to someone, customer? Is there someone higher up? No offense to you, you're pretty high up, but is there someone I can talk to get some actual answers to some of these? We were able to make our way to the right two people from customer support, though. Who do you report to?
To CEO Samson.
And at times, this conversation was difficult and tense.
So why don't we just to address what exactly date for that, and we'll make it for you to make sure that we can make it very clear.
To me, this is yes or no.
To all of you guys.
Yes or no. Can we agree this is inaccurate? Yes or no?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. What we want from ASUS here today are clear and firm statements as to precisely what is being improved, not these broad sweeping, we'll do better statements that we normally get. We did make some actual progress that hopefully benefits the consumer and improves ASUS.
We really apologize for that, and we know that we messed up. It's not confusion. It's not anyone's fault. It's our fault.
Will ASUS refund those people?
Yes, we will.
Okay. Can we also get a commitment that ASUS would refund the shipping as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, shipping and also the labor fee, including the component fee.
Okay. CID stuff now. So partners will no longer have the authority to say this is CID. ASUS will have to have its own employees sign off on this? Okay.
From my team.
Okay. We brought you this video with our brand new case magnets joining our foil skeleton t-shirt that's in production now and still has some extra stock we bought due to popular demand. Store.gamersnexus.net now has a pack of these 3 high-quality metal emblems with embedded magnets. The magnets include a D-lidded AMD Ryzen CPU with 2 chiplets and an I/O die, including the array of pads on the backside, a D-lidded monolithic Intel CPU with detail even down to the silicone adhesive residue, and a flattened GN metal emblem badge from the same supply as our 3D emblem commemorative glassware, but now flat and with a magnet. These make great decorative pieces on the solid steel side panels for your PC cases, on fridges, shelving, or just on the desk, and offer an accurate depiction of the 2 competing x86 desktop CPU makers. You can also grab one of our skeleton t-shirts that helped support this series previously, now in production. These purchases directly fund our efforts to bring consumer advocacy to the space. Visit store.gamersnexus.net to support our work to bring commitments to consumers and hold companies accountable. Grab our new high-quality, high-detail case magnets on the store. The reason for doing all this and pursuing this so aggressively for the consumer is because ASUS is actually the market leader. They do the most volume in a lot of the categories where they occupy. And if ASUS improves, we genuinely and firmly believe that all of its competitors will also have to improve. There is not one motherboard vendor that I can confidently state provides excellent customer service. We think all of them have problems. We have more undercover devices out with other ones. And so if ASUS can set the example here and improve, it will force all of its competition to improve. Whereas if the smallest one improves, it's easy for the top dog, ASUS, to look the other way and ignore it and hope it never catches on. But if the market leader does, everybody has to. And that, we think, is worth fighting for, and it's important. But we went through all this before with ASUS. Nothing changed then. We're hoping that this time something does. Do you have power personally at the company to commit? Can you say, yes, we will make that email?
Yes, we will make that email.
And this is promising. Now, we have to be cautious with our optimism for ASUS. We want to give credit for those improvements, but we also have to remember the past. After our videos last year about exploding X3D CPUs, ASUS committed to replacing boards affected by this failure. That was in May of 2023. In September, a viewer of ours had the exact same X3D board failure, and after the viewer's CPU explosion caused the pins to flatten under the bulging CPU, exactly like you saw in our coverage, ASUS still claimed customer-induced damage and wanted money to fix it. The reason for bringing that example up is because the question we brought to ASUS was why is this time different? From what we can tell, a lot of the changes that we're going to go over today come down to just a few people within the company who appear at least to genuinely care and who have gone all the way up to the CEO level to push for change in divisions that aren't even their division. We hope that ASUS's executives understand the response to this content and that those people are the ones that they need to empower within the company and hopefully not punish. First things first, at the risk of maybe undercutting our own views on this video, we have published ASUS's commitments and the way you can get them if you are affected on our website for free. There are no third-party ads on it. You can go to gamersnexus.net. We've got the list there, including templates for how to get support faster. Let's start with a timeline. On May 10th, we published a video called ASUS Scammed Us, where we showed the company circumventing a free repair by claiming a tiny nick in the plastic was, quote, customer-induced damage, thus triggering an out-of-warranty repair. On May 17th, we asked to speak with an executive or leader of ASUS at Computex to try and get to the bottom of this. We were met with out-of-office autoresponders, which is fine, so we forwarded it to other PR team members. We did not receive a response. On May 18th, we published a response to ASUS's first statement where the company said that, quote, currently we perform a full analysis of devices sent for RMA and send customers a comprehensive list of available repairs, free and paid, in our messaging to customers, end quote. This will become an important line later, and we spoke with an attorney in that video from the 18th about this language. On May 21st, we followed up again with our email from May 17th. We got another out-of-office responder from 2 people and followed up again on May 21st later in the day with someone else. On May 23rd, ASUS rejected the offer to discuss a plan of improvement and pointed us towards its lackluster public statement instead. On May 23rd, we asked again. We offered a multilingual discussion this time. We did not receive any official responses. On May 29th, we asked again and noted FTC involvement. We informed ASUS that we would be visiting their booth, which is a public venue, at Computex 2024 regardless of their answer, and we gave them a date and time. On May 29th, we published a video with the Public Interest Research Group's Nathan Proctor about consumer rights and warranty laws and began discussing the FTC's investigation into ASUS previously. And that brings us to now. This whole thing started on the show floor of Computex.
You got to laugh. Yeah, good. ASUS ROG.
So I have the ASUS booth behind me. We're at Computex 2024. Let's head over there and see how it goes. So it's possible that ASUS gives us a guy named Sasha, who is a very reasonable guy. He is not the right guy to handle this issue. So one of the things I was making clear is we want someone who's in charge of these problems, not someone who's just going to be a lower rank employee with no control over anything, because it's not really fair to that employee if that's the case. So we'll see who we get. I mentioned Sasha here. Sasha is a friendly contact at ASUS whom we've known for years, but with whom we've rarely had the chance to work. He's a fan of the content. He just happens to work at ASUS, and Sasha's role is to write technical guides, mostly for reviewers. Now, my suspicion going into this, as stated in that clip, was that ASUS would throw Sasha at us as a friendly face under the assumption we wouldn't want to have a conflict with him, as opposed to putting someone on camera who should actually be accountable and has actual control. We learned later that he has internally been pushing for ASUS to use this opportunity to improve the company to the extent that he has inserted himself into this whole debacle despite it being completely outside of his department. He's a good reminder that there are people within companies who want change, but often lack the direct power to make it happen. We also get concerned for those types of people for 2 reasons. One is if corporate doesn't see or understand the value, and 2 is if they ever happen to leave for other reasons, then you're just not sure if anyone is left at the company who's making it happen. Now, eventually we were greeted by Sasha, and he did introduce us to his boss, Gallup Fu, the director of marketing. And now we're going to get into those discussions. We first had a 90-minute meeting with the director of marketing. We've cut the vast majority of that meeting from this video, as it ended up being mostly duplicate or repeated in the second and more meaningful meeting with the customer service team. That's because those are the people we really needed to talk to because they have actual direct control over the situation. We still left some of the first meeting in, as it may add some context or have some additional commitments from ASUS that we didn't cover again in the second shorter discussion, such as the task force going back in time to help customers who were previously screwed. And we did eventually get there. So we'll start with some parts of this first discussion, and then we'll move over to the head of customer service.
Got it, Fu. Yeah, I'm the
Okay.
ASUS Marketing Director of Consumer PC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I know you're nervous. When I did the Newegg one, I personally felt very nervous.
Oh, really?
I understand how these go now, so I don't feel nervous now. But the way I look at this is the nerves are just going to get in our way of discussions. We should just get rid of those now if we can.
Yeah.
So on your side, you know, what I was asking ASUS for was some type of higher up, like executive,
I know.
someone high up. And the
Let me try to explain this in a proper manner.
I was going to say to you,
Sure, yeah.
for your sake, the reason I asked for that is because my view is that executives can be held accountable almost on a personal level. People who are below executives, to me, it feels like ASUS is just saying, yeah, fuck this guy, throw him to the wolves.
I know.
Right? So I just want you to understand I don't have a problem with you, right?
That's okay.
And I want this to be a productive conversation.
Sure.
I want it to be as open as we can be.
Yeah.
At the same time, I want to protect you from the people you work for. So the goal is to try and get answers to the community, get some commitments, get you to bring some stuff back to your managers or bosses, but also do it in a way where it's fair to you on a personal level, right?
Thank you.
So you feeling okay about that?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's start with your role at ASUS, and then we'll go from there.
Oh yeah.
So what do you do at ASUS?
Oh, I'm the global marketing director of ASUS Consumer PC. So basically, for all the laptops you see, I'm the head of marketing and managing the overall strategy and also the communication timeline and also global campaign, etc.
So before we get into some of the specifics, what's the story with customer service? Why can't someone who's directly in control of customer service, be available?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. But actually, internally, we had some very, very serious discussion about that. And actually, it is not because we don't treat it seriously. So companies send me. It's actually because we treat it very, very seriously. So they sent me. I decided to take it up front to discuss with you because, to be very honest, including our top executive and most of our CSE guys, they used to be engineers, right? And it doesn't matter whether they are fluent in English or Mandarin. I know your Mandarin is very good, but they are not proper trained for this, right? Even for me, I used to be in front of camera a lot of times, but even now I feel very, very stressful. But then for them, you'll be, even for the executive, for them trying to explain everything in the right way, it will be very stressful for them. And trust me, because this part, should be part of the communication issue, like you discover. They will use some very corporate and official language, try to explain things to you.
I think some of the problem is like ASUS is maybe overthinking this, where training. I know there's media training, there's how do you talk to media, how do you not expose secrets, but this isn't to me it's not a media training situation, it's like just an integrity situation. What should we do? How do we fix this? It doesn't seem like it should be a training problem, it's an accountability problem.
Sure.
So to me it feels unfair for them to put you on camera. I appreciate that you're here. I know you're relatively high up, director's pretty high up. So you and I will do our best, and I hope you can make some commitments. But at the same time, I just want everyone watching to know that I feel that the power dynamic that ASUS higher up has created here is perhaps imbalanced towards you.
But no, I'm not here empty-handed. Just to chit-chat with you. I prepared some messages, and I'm authorized to say that. So I think in front of camera, first of all, we need to send our deepest apology, to the community, and to everyone else, who has this type of RMA problem in the past. Sorry for that. We really apologize for that, and we know that we messed up. It's not confusion. It's not anyone's fault. It's our fault. To cause that kind of trouble for everyone. And Yeah, we've been working on that since the first video at the beginning of May. So the CSE team, they work day and night because actually our service manager, in headquarters, she needs to deal with the time zone in Taipei and the US. So she didn't sleep for weeks dealing with this and have immediately implemented, a lot of new protocols since the middle of May, to be more precise, 16th of May.
So let me start with, so I saw some of the protocols posted. There wasn't a lot yet publicly. There's a little bit.
Yeah.
First question I have is for people who have already been affected in the past, who already either had a rejected claim or they maybe paid for something that they don't feel they should have.
Yes.
This is going to be the easiest thing I ask for.
The binder.
Yes. This will be the easiest thing to ask for.
Yeah, we are expecting this. So this will be very helpful. Yeah.
So the easy thing is, I would like to see an inbox created, an email inbox.
Yeah.
And what I want is it to fast track people who have a prior ticket.
Yes,
right?
I know.
And so just being able to bypass it and say, okay, here's a fast track. Do you have power personally at the company to commit? Can you say, yes, we will make that email? Yes,
we will make that email. Actually, we just discussed that literally earlier this morning. We have one email already, but I don't feel that is strong enough or, how to say, prominent enough, for to collect those issues that we really want to get the feedback. Okay, so here, so by the time when the video is ready, the email will be here. And we'll be figuring out the right email address, but you'll be something.asus.com. All right, you will be ready here.
Okay. All right, so we'll put that on the screen. Does ASUS North America do any board level repair on anything? Board level repair, component repair, replacement. So if I send in a motherboard,
should be,
and there's a missing.
That's
right now we don't, but we are opening a repair center in the US very soon.
Okay, owned by ASUS.
I'm not sure if it's outsourced or owned by ASUS.
Okay.
It will then be the option within a couple of weeks. Customers can choose. Do you either want to wait a little bit longer and then you get your own board repaired, you get it back, or do you want it ASAP and you get maybe somebody else's board, but it has to be checked and validated?
Yeah, so right now the policy says, quote, for motherboard, VGA, and wireless products, a certified and tested replacement unit of the same or greater value will be provided for your original unit. And so the kind of problem that we saw with what the customers who emailed us were experiencing was basically that they felt it was unclear or unfair when they were receiving a replacement part with a different problem. So the suspicion that we have is that ASUS basically, if I send a board in with, let's say, a bent USB 3 pin or something, ASUS takes that board, it sends me someone else's board, and then it sends my board to someone else. So it's like kind of, it's like an exchange of various defects. So some people were upset because they would send something in with, one of them had like a blown front panel connector, and they got something back with, I think it was like a broken USB port. And so it's like, you feel like you send something in where you might have been okay with the problem, you get something back with a problem you're not okay with.
That's bad. Yeah, that's really bad.
So I think that's what we would want to try and fix somehow. And cutting back to the studio, so we're removing most of this discussion, as stated earlier, because we go through it again with people who are more directly in control. This gives some foundation for a few things, but the biggest one is that every 10 to 15 minutes or so of the discussion, I said something like this. The concern I have is if it has to come from people who aren't in control of the department, I'm a little worried about how permanent changes are going to be or how much power you guys will have to really see through your vision, right? It's like you may have, all three of you may have an excellent vision. I'm just worried about, like, there's not a person from customer service in this room, right? Like, is there a chance I can talk to someone, customer? Is there someone higher up? No offense to you, you're pretty high up, but is there someone I can talk to get some actual answers to some of these?
Head of support?
Yeah.
Head of customer support, I guess.
Oh yeah, head of customer support.
Is that person at Computex?
Not really. Yeah.
Are they at HQ?
Not today. Perhaps. Yeah.
It's not far. So.
But Steve, yeah, like we discussed.
Yeah.
Okay, we can talk to them again and see if they wanted to do that.
And so instead of playing through a conversation where we couldn't get any firm commitments for a lot of stuff, we'll just kind of cut to the end of this one and jump into the next one. I think that's what I was looking for today. You know, anything else, it's just going to be me asking the same things, which is it's just going to have to go to other people. So if you're able to arrange something while I'm in Taiwan, great.
Sure.
If not, then we'll leave it there and we'll follow up. But I appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you, Steve. Yeah, again, you know, I really like you and your videos.
I appreciate that.
I hope, but you know, from ASUS standpoint, I hope, you know, it will be our last video about the issue, but it actually should be the beginning of our partnership, and we should consult you even after this issue, after this video. We should continue our partnership and really to improve the service quality.
Well, I mean, just clarify a few things. I guess I understand what you're saying. We don't view it as a partnership. You know, we're an independent outlet. We represent the viewers.
Then keep watching us. You know,
I think what I can do, we don't do any consulting. I don't do anything privately like that. It used to be something I would help people, you know, try and explain stuff, but we learned it just never really worked. So we try to do it all publicly now. That said, I would like to at least be in contact via email, you know, all of us, so that as you guys improve things, we can hear about it. We will verify those improvements to the best of our ability, and then we'll report it back.
Okay.
So that sounds good then.
Yeah, sounds fair.
I think we're good. And Sasha, I am sorry you're in the middle of it, but I appreciate that you're trying to do something.
Sasha has been trying to be in the middle of this for a long time, I think. So I think we're happy that we're seeing a lot of traction, honestly.
Good. Well, internally traction.
Yeah. Absolutely. People are listening to us, and I'm very hopeful.
Okay. Cool. And now it's time to jump over to the longer cut of the meeting with the head of customer service, who reports directly to the CEO. So this is exactly the type of person who can commit to and then enact changes. So that's good. And we'll be talking with his senior manager of customer service, who has personally become familiar with the policies and has been crawling through them and changing them, hopefully. Now, this is where we get into some of the actual commitments from ASUS, and this took place in the last hour of the trade show on Friday, June 7th. Okay, all right, so it's all rolling now. Okay, so I spoke with you two yesterday, and the continual, the thing I was trying to push for was someone customer service, right? So let's just start with who is new, who's joining us. So we can start with, is it Steven?
Yes.
So
Right.
what's your role? What's your title? How long have you been at ASUS?
Sure. Hi, Steve, and also GM team, entire GM team. It's my pleasure to meet you guys, especially online. Okay, I was supposed to meet you yesterday, but somehow I really have to catch another schedule in Taichung City. That's why I have to arrange with the video call conference meeting with you guys. Again, let me introduce myself. My name is Steven. My title is Division Director of the Global Service Management.
And who do you?
And I've been joined ASUS for 18 years.
Okay, who do you report to?
To CEO Samson.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
joining over here.
Hello, this is Peggy, and then I'm.
Peggy is my senior manager. She also in charge with the entire global service quality management. So that's why today I especially invited Peggy in case if we cannot face to face to clarify some issue, in case that Peggy could to personally to explain to you more detail in how we're gonna improve for the next step regarding those issues.
Okay, and then so we also have Gallup, Director of Marketing, Sasha, Director of Technical Marketing, and so for the start here, so yesterday at the booth, Sasha and Gallup and was it Winston?
Winston, yeah.
You guys were saying that some team members, when I was asking why can't we meet with customer service, some team members were maybe uncomfortable being on camera. So you know, my goal here is, like I was telling you yesterday, is to get answers from ASUS as a company, right? So I have no interest in holding any individual person accountable, right? If we had this conversation yesterday, I don't have a problem with any people at ASUS, right? So my goal is, I'll say the same thing we talked about yesterday, just for Peggy and for Steven. I want to have a productive conversation to try and make sure we're all on the same page as the community, because like I was saying yesterday, ASUS is not just branded as a market leader, it actually does the most volume in a lot of these markets. And so if ASUS can set the standard for customer service, that will benefit everybody. And from your perspective too, like we're talking about, it's going to be a lot harder for your competitors to compete with that. So it's, you know, it's an interesting power dynamic where if ASUS does the right thing here, it's gonna, it'll set the bar for everybody, which is why I care so much about this. So that's the goal. I don't want, you know, there are going to be some hard questions in here, just like yesterday we were talking about. I'm going to have some hard requests. At the same time, it shouldn't feel combative. It should feel like we're trying to solve the problem, right? So are we all on the same page with that?
Yep.
Okay. So then the first thing, so yesterday you were saying some people might be uncomfortable being on camera. So the option is available to all of you, even from yesterday. If anyone wants their face blurred, we can blur out someone's face. So does anyone want their face blurred?
I'm okay. I'm okay with it.
Okay. All right. Because like I said, it's, you know, and the audience should understand this too. It's not about, all of you represent ASUS. You have varying levels of sort of control and power over ASUS. At the same time, you know, I can understand, and I think the audience understands the difference between the company and the people. So actually, Sasha, I have something for you first. So you're kind of in the middle of this, where I know you've taken some personal interest in trying to internally push for this. At the same time, from what I understand of your position, I don't know that this is necessarily your fight to be in, you know? So up to you, you don't have to be here.
All right, I'm leaving now, just kidding.
You can. So I mean,
no.
Yeah, I like you as a person, I'm working with you, and you're a good contact. At the same time, during this meeting, you know, I'm gonna have questions where I can't let personal relationships interfere. And so if I hear something that sounds factually incorrect to me, then I will have to push back on it.
Absolutely.
So I just want to be clear on that,
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
separation of the relationship.
Please do.
So as if you're, you know, if you want to stay, that's your call. So
Absolutely.
okay. All right, so first question. The statement said, we are, quote, we are revising our repair pricing structure for out-of-warranty products. This includes a thorough review process of any abnormal pricing to ensure consistency, transparency, and fairness. Currently, we perform a full analysis of devices sent for RMA and send customers a comprehensive list of available repairs, free and paid, in our messaging to customers. We understand this, this referring to the previous sentence, may have caused confusion when a customer has only ordered a specific repair. So, you know, to even start to try and address this problem, especially since we talked about this last year, similar issues, I think we have to deal with that statement, which is currently we perform a full analysis, free and paid, right, being sent to the customer. Was that statement a lie? Right, that's where we need to start. So the sentence is, currently we perform a full analysis of devices sent for RMA and send customers a comprehensive list of available repairs, free and paid, in our messaging to customers. Is that a lie?
I think we should separate into two parts. That for the first statement, that for the pricing quotation part, it is under evaluation. It is definitely. Because currently the review, all the quotation list is by my team. Now we all handle back to ASUS internally, because we did find there are a small portion of the customer, the charging previously having some issue. So in that case, so now we suspend all the directly sending from the repair center, but rather than we send it from ASUS directly. So each cases are reviewed very carefully, no matter it is based on the CID criteria, and also like the quotation. If it's also, I think it is pretty much you give us very good advice on maybe some of the market prices already dropping.
But at the time the statement was made, though, the statement was currently we offer a comprehensive list, free and paid. If we're going to make any progress today, we have to address that specifically. I mean, Stephen, do you want to? This is your division. You know, was the statement a lie?
No, not at all. That's why Peggy just gave it a try to explain to you, like, everything is making progress, and also that we have made the progress. I believe that Peggy, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like we're going to implement that. The first is at the 16th of the June, right?
May.
But the statement said currently. Currently, we send a list of comprehensive repairs, right? I don't know how many times I have to read it, but that currently matters a lot. Because at the time that statement was made, I mean, either ASUS was intentionally misleading people. Another option is you're calling me a liar, because that wasn't, it wasn't my experience. I've got an inbox full of people who've had the same experience. So.
Oh, I think for this part, we are not intentionally saying that you are a liar, but because of your video, I would say that we did find, as I mentioned previously, that from your video, we learned a lot. There are some mistakes in the quotation from our customer, and also from your suggestion. So this part that we really take it very seriously. And then, so what I mentioned is we pull back the review process, so we ensure that we send all the quotation. This is starting from the May 16, as we mentioned, that every case we review very specifically. It is definitely under the warranty situation, and then we provide a quote. And for those in warranty items, we will put in the repair report after the close, because during the repair process, we might have, until the case is closed, we are not yet sure that some of the cases, once that we are doing some component cross-check, and then we will find that, oh, that is not necessary. So for those in warranty item previously, we put it as in the close report, we will specify what we have done for the some your issue, and also the change parts.
So that's all future-looking stuff. Yeah, I'll give you easier language.
Okay.
Can we agree that it was wrong?
Previously?
The statement. Can we agree that statement is inaccurate? Is factually inaccurate?
No, I think in our statement we also mentioned that this will begin by the May of 16th.
So the sentence I'm reading, this sentence is very important, and the reason I'll explain it to you. The reason this sentence is important is because if we can get past this sentence, that will help show to me that ASUS is genuine and is willing to accept that it has made mistakes and that it wants to improve. If we can't agree that this sentence, and I'll read it for you again in a second, is factually inaccurate, I have no reason to trust anything that's said. That's how important this sentence is. That's why it's at the beginning. I want to trust and verify, right? That's my job. But we have to establish, because this is the second time now that we've kind of been through this thing with last year also, we have to establish that there's going to be some level of base trust and accountability. And so I'll read it one more time to be really clear. So the first word is currently, meaning right when this statement was posted, right? 现在, like now. So if it's currently, we perform a full analysis of devices sent for RMA and send customers a comprehensive list of available repairs, free and paid, in our messaging to customers. And then the next sentence was about the confusion, which we already know about. I mean, can we agree that that is factually inaccurate, at least based on the one? I only need one instance to prove it's inaccurate. I have more than one instance, right, from your customers, but ours is public. So, I mean, Stephen, can we agree here, right? So we can proceed with this discussion.
Yeah, I think that the one we're missing now, I think is like, the terminology that we've been using on that is without dates, the things that what the problem is. So why don't we just to address what exactly date for that, and we'll make it for you
I
to
think
make
this
sure
is-
we
this
can
is-
make it very clear.
To me, this is yes or no.
information to all of you guys.
Yes or no? Can we agree this is inaccurate? Yes or no?
No,
No. Okay.
no. Actually, that's why that Peggy tried to explain to you that actually we're already making progress for the improvement on that. I think that the problem, the issue that we'll put in this moment is try to clarify that what will be the exact day for that to make sure that the end user could be accurately to receive those information. I think this is the point, right?
I think let me explain. I think maybe because what we mentioned here that this the first statement is written on the published on the May 4th, 15. So at that point, I think we explained about our improvement process and already executed at that time. So that in our understanding is at May 15, which is pay time. May 16.
Okay, I understand. There is a world that can make sense. I guess the problem I have with it then is now it's just kind of misleading.
Yeah.
Where now it comes across as, okay, so currently the instant this publishes, this is our process. All right. But the way it's written and presented is very misleading, if that's the case.
You mean it sounds like we were already doing
Yes.
this?
For a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, we agree.
Right.
Then for this part, we agree. We should
Agree.
clarify our language and also especially put on the cutoff date. So then for those past customer, they can reach out for
Okay.
assistance.
So, I mean, I'll let the audience decide how much they want to, believe that representation of it, but at least we sort of agree we can move forward. At the end of the day, it's a customer service challenge. And so we got some kind of commitments yesterday from you and from Sasha and from Winston. Ultimately, none of the three of you are directly, as I understand it, in control of CS, and Stephen and Peggy.
I wouldn't say in control, involved.
Involved.
So if I'm involved as in advising and
Yeah.
suggesting, same as Winston as well.
But you're not in control, right?
Definitely not in
Yeah,
control.
that's what I was saying. Yeah, so that's why we needed the CS people.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so
Oh yeah, and actually I think last night they almost didn't sleep, but I think they have gone through the list that you brought up yesterday, including for example the emails there.
It's already done.
executivecare.asus.com.
You can send it directly now.
It's ready now.
executive care
Yes.
At asus.com.
Yeah.
So I think I already asked this question previously, but to get on camera, is that a new inbox for this specific thing?
Yes.
Okay.
A brand new one.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What? Let's go to that. So if someone emails that inbox, we need to help viewers, actually kind of get the answer they want. So what do they need to send to make it as easy as possible for you guys to quickly process them? Right?
Very good question. Yeah, that's a part that Sasha just discussed with me, because I said that we only have a mailbox, but I think we need to standardize some important factors, just like
We can put it on the screen,
Yeah.
because if 1,000 people email you,
Yeah, and especially I just explained to Sasha, I believe your audience are from global.
Yes.
So we might need to address also the location from the customer, so we are able, because of the privacy issue, that each country we are not able to check the cross borders. For these kind of issues. So then we will give you a format about what a customer can list out, especially if they have contact number, RMA number, or the location, and especially if there is SN. And then we can address their location and also figure out what's their difficulties, and then we can help them out.
do you guys want to work on a standardized form for people to fill out, and then what we could do is I can hold this for a few days. We can hold it to early next week maybe to give you some time to work. Because my goal is to help as many people as quickly as possible, that means for you all processing them quickly.
Yes.
So if you can maybe, let's say by like Tuesday, try and get me something I can put on the screen and say, hey, if you need help, fill this out,
Okay.
right, to standardize it.
Yeah,
So-
it will be very, very much appreciated.
So
Okay.
ticket or RMA number alone is not enough.
Yes, and also especially if there is a location or serial number, so then we can check the location and figure out what's the, of course, the complaint reason. If if there is, then we can understand better what's customer expectation, and by that we can help out the customer. We'll try to make it simple, so
Okay.
the customer won't take. I think only 4 or 5 a very simple question.
Sure.
Yeah, and then we can help them out.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. That makes sense to me. So if people email that, will ASUS be refunding people who paid because they were not properly informed that the repair cost was optional? Even so, if they submit their prior case, right? Let's say from 3 months ago they had a duplicate of us, for example. Will ASUS refund those people?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Yeah, but,
Yes.
but I think this part is very clear in our internal policy that there are several kind of cases that like being mischarged, just like previously for those cosmetic parts, they don't want to actually be repaired, but at that moment they pay for this kind of case, or like for those cases like being charged over the market price, and will compensate the gap definitely because it is not reasonable. So and also we have no limit for our what the customer experience. But
Okay.
of course, we will do some verification on the cases, and then we'll provide a response to the customer on what we inspect, and then what's the compensation it will be.
Can I get, so let's just, obviously there's some very small percentage of people who might not have a valid claim. I can appreciate and understand that. Let's kind of set them aside and ignore them, and for a second only focus on people with valid issues, right? So assuming it's a valid issue, can we also get a commitment that ASUS would refund the shipping as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, shipping and also the labor fee, including the component fee.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is quite reasonable, the total amount.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and we really appreciate that you are helping this because we on the second segment actually we are having a number saying that if you are having issue you can contact that number, but because we only publish in our support site, so we have only gained very few numbers are reaching us, and we believe that if you publish to your community, and we can get back more customers. And of course, this is not only this part. We are also doing the inspection throughout, but it will take step by step because large volume, and we need to check each case which is charged. So if the customer are feeling impatient, feel free to contact us. We are very happy to get all these cases, and for those who didn't reach us, we will go step by step also evaluate. So I think this is very promising, and now we are already.
This is what I want to hear, because what I want is just like the clear commitments of yes, we will do this, which you guys are like Stephen and Peggy, you're able to give me. Gallup, I know to the best of your ability you were trying to.
Hey, but like I mentioned yesterday, we are very aligned on our goal. So for some of the promise I say yesterday is the same, but it's even better. I know it's even better
It's
from them.
important to hear it from people who have direct control over
Yes,
it,
yes,
right?
yes.
So I appreciate that, because
Sir, the answer is affirmative. Yes.
yeah. So then one more question on the shipping. If a customer also, so our experience was we had and again, it's not about me, it's about, I have an experience I can use to represent other people. So our experience was that because there was an optional repair, there was shipping included now for the RMA period, whereas the actual issue was covered under warranty. So we've already talked about the shipping for unnecessary repairs. If someone has a warranty-covered defect that they can send in for repair, and they also have an optional issue, so let's say a customer says, yes, I actually would like the cosmetic problem fixed, right? Will ASUS still provide the free shipping for that customer because they have one covered issue, right, and one optional. It seems like the shipping should still be covered because there is a covered issue. So can we agree on that?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
It is reasonable.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. For the next ones, we talked about this briefly yesterday as well. The topic that came up was extending the full device remaining warranty to repaired components. So we were talking about how some components, when they're replaced, will have a 3-month warranty.
3 months, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rather than the inheriting the full device warranty. And now the thing you showed me on the reply was that for devices that were repaired, quote, in warranty, they will inherit the full warranty. The response I had to you was, well, but the problem is a lot of these customers were affected where the device was technically repaired as, it was deemed as out of warranty service, right? So that's, I have the email here from our walkthrough of it, but so for example, we would like to inform you that your product is in, we would like to inform you that your product in is out of warranty or judged as customer-induced damage, you know, thus the repair charge shall be applied. So in that instance, it was our understanding that the replacement parts, that would be the entire board with the microSD card reader and the 2 joysticks, would have a 3-month warranty rather than inheriting the remaining warranty of the Ally. So it's an issue of customers who already went through this process, and like we were talking about earlier with the refunds, you know, those people need to get what they should have gotten if they go through the process today, which is the full device warranty.
So you mean essentially there was a misclassification?
Yes.
It is in warranty, but for some reason it was misclassified as
Such as
out
CID,
of warranty.
right.
Right, and it isn't actually CID.
Yeah. So Peggy, I think you can jump to the now how is our standard judging those CID cases?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, can we address the warranty thing first? I mean, for people who've already been through this, you know, can ASUS commit to if a customer 3 months ago was judged as out of warranty because there's CID for an unrelated defect like a joystick, you know, can we agree that the repaired joystick in this instance gets the rest of the device warranty, so effectively it extends past that 3 months? Because I don't care how long the actual warranty is. I don't care if it's 5 years, 3 years, doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is just that it's consistent and that it makes sense to the customers. I don't really care how long the warranty is, right? It's about, specifically just about people who already, in my words, got screwed, right? Can we just say yes, if they have a device issue, then they get the full warranty and not the 3 months.
If that was misclassified,
Yeah.
then I think that's very clear and very straightforward. We're going to look at the case and identify it was misclassified. And then we're going to say this should be covered by the inherit the full warranty, right?
yeah. I think let me explain a bit on our warranty policy, and then but I agree with Sasha. If there are some misclassified, definitely we
Okay.
will respect for that, and also review carefully, and then give the proper warranty.
Okay.
But in our warranty system is not starting from May. In our system, that if you are in warranty but as a CID, so once that if you resent it for the in warranty or during the in warranty period besides 3 months, we'll definitely classify it as in warranty, because in our system there are no logic that we can identify those specific component is a repair and then it is only with a 3 months warranty. This need to be classified. But I understand in the no matter email template, it's some of them just mentioned that you for out of warranty repair, you will have 3 months warranty. But that out of warranty is only specified for out of warranty period. So that means that if you expire the warranty, And this, at first, we are doing as that for a customer to use for 3 months. And then if there are any problems, they can still reach back. But we will clarify also the wording with what we said, that if you are in warranty, it will inherit it. And of course, we do understand if there are some customers are impacted, no matter they didn't send in because of certain kind of policy. Once that we check, we definitely will respect and also provide the proper repair for free.
Okay.
So you think that was probably a misunderstanding as well? And
on the warranty, but we do think that the improper wording will cause the customer that they didn't send in because of
I don't think it's a misunderstanding. I mean, it was pretty clear. It said if it's an out of warranty repair, then it's 3 months for the components that were repaired. I don't really. I don't think that's a misunderstanding. It seems very clear.
So if you broke the joysticks, we say that you broke the joystick intentionally, and we repaired for you.
That's different.
Then the joystick gets 3 months warranty only. Is that?
It's something like, so yeah, it basically says the language is for an out of warranty repair, it will, for some devices anyway, it'll get a 3 month limited warranty. So it doesn't really matter if they intentionally broke it or not. If it's classified, like you were saying, as out of warranty, then that's what happens. And so, coming back to, I think we already had the answer, and then I just heard misunderstanding, and I had to shut it down because I think we're going the wrong direction if we're going to keep saying communication problems, misunderstanding, whatever. Like the answer you guys gave already was good, and then you made it worse. So I'm just trying to let's, if we can just stop. I understand sometimes there are miscommunications and there are misunderstandings.
Let's not focus on that.
But let's not use that as an excuse. Let's just say yes. This is how we're going to do it. Moving on, right? We don't need excuses. The fact that you guys want to fix it, that's all that matters. I don't think anyone cares why it happened. All right, one more specific one for you. So yesterday we talked about changing the ASUS Advanced RMA language. Do Stephen or Peggy, do either of you have any specifics on that? Any further detail?
Yeah. Actually, for the past 2 weeks, we have really go through all the content. No, that's why, and globally. So that's why I can feedback you that we saw there are some improper wording, and especially getting to the advancement. Actually, it is for us. We are trying to provide premium service to customers that they don't need to send in the repair return unit, but we actually send at first, and then cross shipping. So in that case, but we see there are some problems. The first one is we saw there are some wording on how it will void the warranty, including like a physical damage. And then physical damage, if we didn't really explain on what kind of physical damage it is, we consider as out of warranty, then that will become problems. So for this part, we did see, we will remove the physical wording part. And then we will put on a similar, we have a new one, FAQ, on addressing what is the CID situation and also all the kinds of photo with some explanation.
So we can briefly talk about that as well. I saw those changes. The physical damage thing, so the ASUS Advanced RMA replacement terms and conditions say there's going to be an authorization hold on the credit card. That makes sense. I'm fine with that. I think everyone is. And then it says, the hold will consist of the original MSRP, the product cost of ground shipping, and a $10 processing fee. Okay, fine. And then it says, so the exception is physical damage, and I'll just read it to you and then I'll ask the question. But it says, any physical damage found on your product, including shipping damage, will void the warranty. If the product is received with damage, charges will not be removed from your credit card, so effectively charging for the product. Physical damage is not covered under your ASUS warranty under any circumstances and automatically voids the warranty of the product. Physical damage consists of any physical alterations. This damage can include any shape or form of corner or edge damage, broken traces, broken CPU socket and slots, or burns, etc. So So are you saying ASUS is just going to get rid of that whole thing?
Yeah, but instead of that, I think we will put on very clearly what that, because if the physical damage is like a small scratch or else, that shouldn't call it as physical damage.
I think I mean, so we talked about this yesterday, but there's instances where things like this really covers ASUS in ways that I think you could open it up a little bit and still cover ASUS. So like burns, there are a lot of scenarios where a motherboard with burns should be covered by the warranty because it's probably an electrical failure. Like we talked about yesterday, I don't expect ASUS to just cover all burned motherboards because if someone had a house fire, they can go talk to their insurance company. That's not ASUS's problem, right? That's their home insurance. But yeah, so I think it's like it's not just kind of a scratch. There are legitimate physical damage.
Yeah, for the X3D issue that Galip just explained to me yesterday, that actually in our service policy clearly addressed that there are some problems that it will cause the burn. So for that part, we need to respect. So that for this case, thank you for letting us know that we do consider our engineer makes up for that the product burn because of for a certain issue with those like intentionally burned. Yeah, so I think they need to classify, but this also, it is under our now starting from May 16, it's all inspected. So it won't cause, if there are some problems that it is already addressed previously, that those burns should be ASUS duty, then we'll definitely respect. So that one, and we'll especially talk to our service partner on this part, that the misjudgment.
Okay, so I think that's most of the specific requests that we went over yesterday already. Stephen, one note for you and for Peggy, but one of the other things we spoke about was not about the customer side, but about the ASUS employee side, and it was about KPIs, right? So the key performance indicators of one of the tips we received from an ASUS employee was that they felt like CID claims were incentivized, not necessarily literally like in writing, but in the sense that it would help the repair technicians meet a quota or a KPI because CID would allow them to process the device faster and just get it out of their way, hit their quota, move on. So this is what we're talking about, where there's some internal processes that I don't expect you to tell me what they are. I don't expect you to publish them. I think it's reasonable to keep it private. At the same time, and I have no way to validate it, but I just want to bring it, Stephen, to your attention that when we spoke with Newegg in a similar way, and the biggest thing we came to was KPIs need to be adjusted internally so that the employees feel they have sufficient time to really identify the problem, right? And so that they're doing the right thing for the customer because they're not worried about losing their job if they're too slow diagnosing a complex issue, right? Like, I'm sure we've all been on phone support where they try to get you off the phone as fast as possible, any company, right? Yeah. So it's that kind of thing. So, I mean, Stephen, is there anything you can speak to on that with sort of internal KPI stuff?
Yes. As I recall, we have not established any like a CID, customer-induced damage claim rate to our repair center. Okay, not at all. Okay, but of course, since you brought that up, thank you for bringing that out and just grabbing my attention. And we acknowledge that some of our customer, the service partner might wanted to flag customer as a CID to bypass the service lane, control by the claiming like the customer is still making a decision, something like that. That might be to happen in some occasion. So from this month, I believe from the end of this month, since you brought that out, so we recognize that this matters. So we presently that all of our CID claim undergo review by ASUS technician team. Okay. We'll try to prevent such, this kind of case and to be being wrong classified as a CID from those, we will so-called
I think
repair
it's
center.
it's less about just specifically CIDs and more about the repair center having the right processes for the employees to allow them to make the right judgment calls on the product. So it's not that they're, like I said, it's not that they're literally being told mark stuff as CID, right? It's that at least in the instance of the people who contacted us, it's that they feel that's the easiest way to meet the quota.
Like
Yes,
a
yes,
loophole.
yes.
Yeah.
we agree.
Yeah.
Because I think if you, we did find that addressing on specific KPI, just like you are pretty good at our service industry, that we will have some speedy KPI on this part. So once that the engineer flag as CID, then in that case, because it will go to negotiate with or explain to customer about the price or quotation, and then we are waiting for customer to confirm back. And this is one kind of tricky way that they are able to escape those possible well going through over the length of the timing of TAT for turnaround time for the service. So that instead of getting an engineer to judge again. So that's why we set up control point from ASUS side that no more CID judgment can done by the service partner, but actually need to approve by ASUS team. So in that case,
so just to clarify, when you say service partner, you mean like Chem USA or some third party?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, and
Exactly,
this is very
exactly.
important because the setting a getting that because they will have different interest. Of course, that our service partner they want to, you can say they in a certain amount of time and people they can
fulfill the contract. Right.
Yes, and also fix up as much as they can because they are able to earn. However, that the control point on ASUS side, because we are much more concerned about what we provide the service to the customer. So letting ASUS people directly check if this kind of case is reasonable or not, will avoid that the kind of our engineer in the repair center, they can use this as a technique on skipping out the KPI.
Okay, so then I guess to kind of wrap some of the stuff we have, so we've got an email address that has been created. We'll put that on the screen again. There is an action item for you all would be to get me some kind of standardized form for people, and we so that they can be as fast as possible. ASUS is committed to refunding people under the circumstances we discussed, and that includes shipping and labor. I would assume that includes tax associated with those. There was a statement about by September, ASUS plans to have a repair report change or a transparency change of some type. And I would, if someone could email me what that change is and when it's done, please do. Because it's like I said. I mean, I know depending on your perspective, it can look like we just want to beat companies up. But like when a company improves, I want to tell everybody, right? Because that's great. That other companies will see that and will be inspired by it. So. So please tell me when you keep changing stuff. And then the other one, so ASUS, let me just make sure I understand this one. The other commitment was CID stuff now. So partners will no longer have the authority to say this is CID. ASUS will have to have its own employees sign off on this. Okay.
From my team.
Okay. So that sounds good as well, because that at least gets it so that the partner that's most incentivized by processing and just money and contracts is the money's not part of the equation anymore. So
this is something that we try to avoid that thing, and then we try to do a further improvement on that part.
Okay, and then we also talked about reevaluating the warranty for devices where people felt that they should get the full warranty, not the 3-month thing. So. And then the change in advanced RMA language to reduce the amount of focus on physical damage as a rejection method. Okay. I think that's everything I had. I mean being open about it, all of this sounds good on paper. This is what I want to see. Obviously I know it's, we'll have to kind of see it happen, in reality, but what you're saying sounds good. I think for the audience, like if anyone's cynical about it, the reason I wanted to do this is because when we get a commitment, especially from a customer service team member, that yes, we are going to refund people under these conditions, like to me, that the reason I would have more trust for that than typically is because that becomes a legally actionable statement, right? Like there's a legal reason to fulfill that as well. So yeah, I appreciate the time and that the commitments seem like they are going the right direction. This was a very similar thing to last year. The reason we kind of chased this so much this year is because it happened last year and I felt like nothing changed. Sasha, I know you and Winston internally have gotten involved cross-department, and Gallup sounds like you as well. So, from our side, we'll obviously kind of keep testing, and we're testing other vendors as well. It's not just you guys, but at the same time, I think for now what we'll do is just get the message out to people. Steve and I told Gallup yesterday that we will. There's hundreds of emails, but what I'm going to do is work with my team to reply to everyone who emailed us and ask them for permission to send that email to you guys. If they give us permission to do it, I'll work with your team to figure out where to send it, and then hopefully we'll do our best to kind of try and vet the ones that seem legitimate. Because there were a few that were like, I don't know. Yeah, that sounds like your fault. So we'll try to get rid of those. Obviously, if I send you one that's illegitimate, you could deal with it. But most of them seemed like pretty genuine. So we'll do that as well to try and just help as many people as fast as possible. And then I'll still be expecting, Gallup, we were talking about an email sometime in June, just kind of recapping, hey, here's what's changed, right? So, okay.
Sure.
Everyone good with this?
All right.
Okay. All right. Steven, I would shake your hand if I could.
Sure. And again, I'm so appreciate at least that we have this kind of opportunity, like we can talk each other like this and try to clarify something and at least show our appreciation, and also our I would say deeply sorry if we did something that did not meet customers' expectation. Okay. So again, as a responsible brand, we will definitely try to put everything in our improvement plan to make sure at least we can deliver very clear information. Not only you guys, but also through your guys' channel, we can deliver those information to all of our audience, who've been suffering for this kind of bad service experience before. Okay, thank you again. This is meaning a lot for us.
Yeah, I appreciate the time. Thank you. At the end of all this, for how tense that second meeting started, it did feel like we made some actual headway with the head of customer service by the end of the meeting, and they're always good reminders that even in moments of tension, we can break that tension.
Hey, is that Steve at ASUS? What's Steve doing at ASUS? Uh-oh.
So Sasha and Whitson, whose name I misheard as Winston in the Computex crowd, and Gallup are not in direct control of the customer service, but they are in sort of adjacent control of a different department, which has at least some channels in. They're heavily involved. Now, my analysis of this is that ASUS really needs to create maybe a new position where there's some shared control between marketing and customer support, or somehow empower someone who is passionate about the issue to try and better drive customer service to make the right decision. Someone who's more community facing, because that person's gonna be a little more plugged in and connected with the community. Now, there were also repeated statements from the marketing team, that would be the day one team we spoke with, that the customer service team is not good at communication. We would agree with their statements. Now, the problem is that communication seems, to me, to be basically one of the primary functions of customer support or customer service, unless you're trying to turn it into more of an MBA type of job. And so this is a corporate issue that ASUS simply must address. They need to put people in who are focused on communication. And it's not a language thing here because the people handling different regions are regionally, we'll call it, say, localized for the language of that area. So it's not a language problem in terms of the communication, I think. I mean, I don't work there. It seems more like we really need to think about how the words we're writing will be perceived. And that is probably where getting someone who's more cued into the community would help. So anyway, the ball is now in ASUS's court to make good on the commitments and improve. There were times that it felt productive. There were definitely times that I heavily disagree with some of the analysis of the situation. But to recap the ASUS firm changes, here's the list. ASUS has now created an inbox called Executive Care at asus.com. They tell us this is brand new. They have created this specifically to reprocess prior RMAs. There was no time limit on this, so this is for customers who feel they were unfairly classified or were misclassified, such as for quote-unquote customer-induced damage that's unrelated, or charged for a service that should be free under the new guidelines that ASUS is following. ASUS has provided, as part 2, a template to copy and paste into the email, and we're showing this on the screen. You can also visit gamersnexus.net to find a copy of all of this to copy and paste. We don't place any third-party ads on the site, so the link is below for the template if you want to grab it without any hassle. Third commitment, ASUS has published a timeline for improvements. June 14th, today, is the publication of this email and template. ASUS has promised us an email this month with additional changes and improvements. Number 4, ASUS has committed to refunds for customer service charges for unnecessary repairs, which customers felt compelled to accept in order to have a warranted repair covered, such as unrelated or misclassified CID. Commitment number 5, ASUS has committed to refunding shipping charges in scenarios where a warranted repair was part of the RMA. For clarity, if a customer has both an out-of-warranty repair and an in-warranty repair in the same claim, shipping will be covered by ASUS. If it was not, and you are a previous customer, you can contact them with that email address to get the shipping refunded, and possibly the rest depending on what the situation was if you willingly agreed to the out-of-warranty repairs. Point number 6, ASUS has committed to refunding labor and taxes related to these aforementioned qualifying disputes. Point number 7, ASUS has created a task force team, they say, to retroactively go back through a long history of customer surveys that were negative and try to fix these issues. Point number 8, ASUS has removed power from the repair centers to claim CID. Now, CID claims have to go through ASUS's team. This will remove some of the financial incentive to fail devices. There still is financial incentive to fail them, but now it won't be motivated by a third-party external contract. Point number 9, ASUS has created a new support center in the US. This will enable customers to choose between a repair of their board or a faster swap with a refurbished board, which is basically what they do now in many regions. This solves the issue where refurbs were the only option in some scenarios previously, leading to customers receiving a worse board than they had sent in because it was from someone else. Point number 10, after over a year of refusing to even, in our opinions, acknowledge the microSD card reader failures on the ROG Ally, ASUS will now be posting a formal statement next week about the defect resulting from this series of investigations. And finally, ASUS also has plans for September where it will be debuting its more transparent repair reporting process. The company has told us that it will follow up with us as soon as that's posted, and we'll update you all in a hardware news episode at the time, unless it's worthy of additional coverage. It'll get a standalone. So for these changes, at least, we're happy with them. They sound good on paper. There are still some disagreements. So the biggest one is the fact that ASUS's original statement contained both future-looking language and present tense language, and the end result was, if you read that one sentence, I had to read probably 10 times through this thing. I won't do it again to spare you all, but it really did come across like ASUS was saying, it's not even came across like, it literally stated that they were providing a list of free and paid for repairs, and that really wasn't provided. So ASUS's answer to that, after all the trying to get it across, was ultimately, well, but we meant right now when we're publishing this, even though everything else in that used the future tense will, and that one didn't. So we could, whatever, like that, it's up to you how you want to interpret that. I disagree with, I think it was intentional. and it did come across as misleading. Overall, ASUS eventually kind of at least budged a little bit on that issue, but the ball is now in their court. So we'll continue to follow this up as the company sends us lists of firm changes it's making, hopefully things that are nailed down and precise, and it's doing that for its global warranty policies. We'll focus on North America. That's the area that I know the best, and we do believe it's possible for ASUS to improve. However, as stated previously, one of the concerns is that if the people driving these changes are not properly entrusted to see them through, or if they start facing resistance once the issue fades from the public eye temporarily, then we worry that ASUS could regress. So that I don't have an answer for, and I don't know that they will regress. It depends on if the CEO level and the head of customer service acknowledge and recognize that this needs to improve long term and not just to kind of get this problem to go away right now from our videos and and the community sort of outrage about it. So that remains to be seen. ASUS, if there's any executives at all watching at this point, I'm sure you have better things to do, but please trust the people internally who are pushing for the community-facing changes. The list we have here is a good list. It was difficult to get it, but we have it now, and please empower those people and place some base level of trust in them, and just recognize that warranties are a thing you'll lose money on. But the positive is that the marketing should be able to kind of outweigh that. So that's kind of the hope. You look at a company like Noctua, Fractal, Arctic, for some examples of companies that are very respected for their customer service in many cases, and that even allows companies like Noctua to charge more for their stuff. So even purely financially, there's still incentive to do right by the customer. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this one. This was a huge series. It was a massive effort to fairly represent everyone and both sides in this, try to present the commitments, but also keep in mind the reality of we have been through this, and we do really need to just kind of observe right now. So thank you for watching. Subscribe for more. Go to store.gamersnexus.net to grab a case magnet like these or one of our skeleton foil shirts. We ordered some extras when I placed the production order recently, so they'll be there probably until we actually ship them all out. So there's a little bit more window to grab one if you didn't. But otherwise, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all next time.